Good evening. Forget the cold. Welcome to the community players production of Lovers, Wives, and Tennis Players. In case you're in the wrong place, you can pull out. We have somebody else waiting for the extra seat. It's a little bit complicated, or a little bit full of information, I think is the way to say it. So if you have anything you don't get, if at the end of the evening you think you've missed something, come back next week. We'll do that. And a couple of housekeeping details. We have one 15-minute intermission. I'll ask you not to take flash photography, turn off your cell phones. No flash flood warnings tonight. We're okay for the evening. And the play, I wrote the play, and it started with blank paper, and all the way through the writing process, it was mine. But once it was finished and got the cast involved, it became theirs. And it was up to them to develop the characters that tell you the story. And now it becomes yours. Because when the audience gets hold of this, it changes. Every night I go home and rewrite a few lines. And I enjoy doing that. The cast does not. So I came in tonight and handed everybody 2 or 3 new lines and said, this will be better tonight. So, I hope you enjoy that, and if not, I'll change the lines again. Thank you for being here.
Mr. Juergens, anyone there?
Shouldn't we wait in the car?
He told me where to find the key. We might as well look around.
Alan, what about the... Oh, Alan. It's charming.
Charming, you haven't even seen it yet.
The lake out front there. And this wonderful high ceiling. When I
Betty, it won't work.
I only said...
Our condo is fine. Don't start going goofy over some dilapidated lake cottage.
Think about it. If we had a cottage like this,
If we had a cottage like this, I could commute an hour each way to work. Honey, if I fell in love with every place I get paid to remodel, I couldn't rip out the walls. Then they wouldn't write the nice check that pays for our mortgage.
If you lower that wonderful ceiling, Alan Carroll, I'll never speak to you again.
She does have possibilities.
What does Mr. Juergens want done?
A nice bay window right there. Let more light in. Something with quarter panes.
Add a room, I'll bet. He wouldn't hire an architect just to redecorate.
A stud and plaster. She must be 60 years old.
Alan, look at this wicker.
We have a wicker chair at home.
But this wicker is thicker.
I won't get a thing done if you keep gushing over high ceilings and thicker wicker. Now when I look her over...
Let Mr. Juergens explain what he wants done.
Juergens doesn't know what he wants done. He liked my work on that factory lunchroom expansion and asked me to come take a look at his cottage.
It's perfectly charming just the way it is.
That's just your nesting instinct talking.
Me? I'm just admiring it.
You knew you were marrying an apartment lover. This subtle campaign won't work.
It's not so much to ask. A house of our own.
We have a condo of our own.
With 1 bedroom.
Right. So your mother can't come stay with us.
What about a baby?
Your mother's 60 years old.
Alan, you said Mr. Juergens doesn't have any children. And look at the size of this place.
Good idea. Your mother can stay with the Juergens.
Okay, all right. No one lives here?
Summers, he said. Juergens and his wife had their honeymoon here. Now he wants to fix her up or sell her.
Sell their honeymoon cottage?
Their honeymoon was 10 years ago.
That's no reason.
And who knows? Maybe the marriage needs remodeling? Fix it up or get rid of it?
Mr. Juergens told you that?
Between the lines, after half a dozen confused phone calls, he sent me this note and directions on how to get here.
Dear Mr. Carroll, I'm glad we can get together this weekend. Alan, it's handwritten instead of typed. Isn't that strange for a business letter?
Juergens is strange for a businessman.
If you can't make it, don't call my home. My wife doesn't know. Since I've never done anything like this, except in the lunchroom, I'm completely in your hands. I'll be satisfied with anything you want to try. Secretly, Bob Juergens.
See? Strange one.
I think it's sweet. A surprise for his wife.
If I tell him it's not worth remodeling, he'll sell to some neighbor who's been bugging him.
He trusts your judgment. You must have impressed him.
I only met the man once.
You impressed me the first time.
Can't even tell you which one he was.
Which one?
Yeah, on that factory lunchroom expansion. I worked with Juergens' purchasing agent. One day, Juergens and his boss wandered through, and I couldn't get straight which one was Juergens.
They looked alike?
No, one was taller than the other, and one wore glasses this thick.
Which one?
The other one.
Alan, that's terrible. You must remember something.
It was a Thursday.
Well, what about clothes?
They both wore clothes.
Then your Mr. Juergens isn't so strange after all.
They were strange clothes.
I give up. Let's get your tools from the car.
Hold on, I want to check her out. Have something creative and costly to say about her before Juergens gets here.
I thought her was for ships, not houses.
Big jobs are it. Houses are her.
I'm learning already.
Well, thanks for coming along. Now let's poke around. Lake out there. Woods through here.
Bedrooms upstairs?
I guess. Huh. Betty, take a look at the kitchen. It's huge.
Alan, it's 3 times the size of ours.
Yeah.
There's a pantry. Do you smell yeast?
Yeast? I don't smell a thing.
Look, you can see the garage out this window.
Not from over here, I can't.
Our car is blocking the garage door.
We'll move it if Juergens asks.
And a phone. You said no one uses the place.
He keeps the phone and electricity connected in case they come up on weekends. Ready for the bedroom, Mrs. Carroll?
Alan?
It could be hours before Juergens gets here.
He could barge in any second.
Seems a shame to waste a honeymoon cottage.
I want to watch the architect in you. The honeymoon side I already know.
And one look at the bedroom. I might get inspired. Surprise you.
The only way you could surprise me in a bedroom is by not getting inspired.
An oasis. We've made it. Oh, don't be silly, Mary. It's your cottage. Who's going to hear us? I don't know. Then why whisper? You're nervous as a cat. The neighbors? You made me park down the street because of the neighbors. You made me creep through that bramble patch because of the neighbors. And now we're whispering because of the neighbors. There was no bramble patch. My stockings are destroyed. If you'd planned a tumble at home with your postman, you could have had your affair in comfort.
One encounter isn't an affair.
I was being polite.
Besides, I didn't want the neighbors to see us, so coming through the woods was only sensible.
But darling, assignations are not supposed to be sensible. They're supposed to be chancy and dangerous. Where's the fun if you don't risk getting caught?
Caught! Maybe I should go home.
But then there's Lyle.
Where's Lyle?
Panting his way towards you at this very minute. Poor Lyle. Would you really stand him up?
Yes.
The first time's the most difficult, Mary dear. It gets easier. Believe me. These stockings have turned to lace. Do you have any nail polish?
Nail polish?
You're right, it's too late for nail polish. How about an iron-on patch?
I stand here terrified and you worry about your stockings.
It's my last dark pair. And I don't imagine they sell stockings at that fish bait place we passed.
Florence, you're impossible. I'm going home.
Shall I entertain Lyle?
What?
I'll meet your lover. You go back to cold showers and your TV set, while Bob's off in his love nest.
The rat.
Oh, let him have his fun. You sit by the fireplace, keep his hot water bottle ready, his pipe, his slippers.
After 10 years. How could he?
Well, don't let me influence you. I don't care if Bob gets away with it.
All right, okay, I'm fine now.
That a girl. When the mysterious Lyle gets here, you'll thank me. Quiet weekend, new lover. Well, there's nothing like it.
Are you sure?
By Monday, you'll have glowing cheeks and a Mona Lisa smile.
That's nonsense.
It's true, darling. Affairs do wonders for your complexion. You'll be a new woman.
I don't know.
I do. I've been a new woman simply dozens of times.
Florence.
All right, not dozens, but often. And it may even make Bob start paying attention to you again.
You keep saying that.
It's true, darling. My second husband was tired of me until I took up with that. Actually, that's a poor example. My second husband stayed tired of me, but the principle is sound. And Bob's got it coming, doesn't he? Chasing off with someone.
Married 10 years.
Tell Lyle 5.
You mean lie to him?
With every breath. Lies in an affair are like peppers in the stew.
I just don't have your experience.
Oh, but I've never had a lover as romantic as your Lyle. An unseen lover. Just a voice on the phone. I did get an interesting obscene phone call once.
Florence! Lyle's not like that. He's so, I don't know, suave, sophisticated. He's so David Niven-ish.
Striped trousers and a morning coat.
He'll be wearing a boutonniere.
Why? So you can pick him out of the crowd?
He likes flowers.
Well, I like shredded wheat, but I'm not wearing any.
Lyle's very romantic.
Although, come to think of it, do you have any taupe paint?
Very gallant.
Even a brown crayon?
He sings to me on the phone.
All right. How's his voice?
Very sincere.
I meant his singing voice.
Very sincere.
Too bad. But then you won't spend the weekend singing, will you?
Maybe I should go home.
Mary Juergens, don't you dare! Bob's off cuddling his girlfriend somewhere. You can't let him get away with it.
I could find him and bust in.
You don't even know where he's gone. Business trip, indeed. You need a reminder. Dear something Carol. It's terribly messy.
I learned that trick from Columbo on TV. Bob was so sneaky when I saw him writing that note, I went back later. Scribbled over the next sheet in the notepad, and it worked. Sort of. Get together this weekend. Wife doesn't know. There.
Who's your housekeeper here?
Never done anything like this before, except in the lunchroom?
Ooh, exhibitionist. Must be a secretary.
Miss Desmond? She wears glasses this thick.
I don't think he wants her to read to him. And cuddling is mostly in Braille. What else did she say?
Be satisfied with anything you want to try. Ooh.
Adventurous little devil.
It's disgusting. Listen to the signature. Secretly. The rat.
You'll show him, dear. Are you okay now?
Yes, I'm fine. You're not leaving.
Back through the bramble patch.
But you can't.
One stocking's not shredded. I'll make them match.
You have to stay. I need you.
Just the three of us. You, me, and Lyle.
I don't want to be alone with him.
Sounds rather tacky, darling.
Just stay till I meet him, that's all. He might not be anything like his voice.
You see, you are more adventurous than I am. I've never been picked up over the phone. Bars, theaters. Once at a hairdresser.
Lyle's not like that.
Well, neither was a hairdresser. We spent the day combing each other.
It wasn't a pickup. We've been talking for 2 months, ever since Lyle dialed her number by mistake. Bob's never home anymore.
How old is he?
Bob, he's 45.
Not Bob, dear. Say Lyle. Talking about your husband dampens a man's ardor worse than hearing the downstairs door slam.
Lyle. I don't know how old he is. In his 30s, he said.
We all say that. Shh. It's true, darling. Lying about your age is totally normal.
No, upstairs. Did you hear footsteps?
It's only time to meet a chariot hurrying near. You've finally gotten your chance, Mary. I don't intend to stick around and ruin it for you.
Just till I unpack my bag.
You don't need me.
I don't want to go up to that bedroom alone.
You won't. Believe me.
Just stay till he gets here.
A chaperone with shredded stockings.
I know I heard something.
Old houses creak. Wonder why Juergens never ran electricity up to the second floor. The cellar's gonna be dark as pitch.
Do you think it was Mr. Juergens?
Great space, though. Open, airy.
Like a dormitory with those 3 big beds in it.
It'll be easy to partition into a pair of rooms.
Alan, that's perfect. You could put a nursery at one end.
A
and then
nursery? You never let up, do you?
You said partition it.
A bedroom, study, like that. I never said a word about a nursery.
With that cute little dormer window and some bright
Oh, boy.
colors.
I'm going to grab my scale from the car. A nursery.
Take your time. I'm enjoying the tour.
I'm just a vagabond lover. Here I am.
Yes, here you are.
And here you are.
Yes, here I am.
And well, here we are. A perfect love nest. Da 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 da.
A love nest. Yes, I see.
Do you like it?
Oh, yes. Is it a carnation?
Plastic. In all this heat, you know, I thought a real one. Well, I considered a rose, but James Mason and George Sanders always wore carnations.
Did they?
Tradition has it that Oscar Wilde wore a sunflower, but that seems ostentatious, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Oscar Wilde, did you say?
Oscar Wilde wouldn't have struck the right note. You know, all that trouble he had there at the end. Perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way.
You wouldn't? But I thought you wanted it different.
Did you now? Different. How? We still haven't said hello.
Hello,
Oh, champagne, how delightful! You Budweiser?
the king of beers.
How charming. Have you ever seen a more delicious day? Sunlight dappling the water, clouds scudding across an azure sky. It's almost Eden. I've been waiting
You have?
nearly an hour. I took a stroll through the forest along the lakefront, anticipating. I feel as if I've been here all my life.
I'm sorry you had to wait that long.
Some events are worth waiting for. And my getting here early was rather a clever stroke, I thought. It allowed me to slip my motor car into the garage unseen.
Oh, I see. You mean before we...
Now the neighbors will only see one car. We wouldn't want them to know, would we?
Wouldn't we? Oh, because it's a secret, you mean.
Our secret. Have you been baking?
I beg your pardon?
Well, it could be perfume or alcohol.
It's yeast.
Oh, how droll, a perfume named yeast.
Of course not. I smelled it earlier out in the kitchen.
No, it seems to be in here.
I knew I was right. My husband didn't smell it at all.
Your husband?
Yes, Alan couldn't even
Must
tell.
be the heat. You didn't really say husband, did you?
Of course Oh, I see. You're worried about the secret. But my husband won't tell anyone.
You told him.
He won't say a word till you're all done.
He doesn't know you're here now, does he?
He brought me.
He brought you
He's in the car.
in the car here? Oh, God, I knew it. First time, and look what... Whose idea was it, huh? I mean it. A few phone calls, that's all. Oh, I knew it was too easy. I shouldn't...
Is something wrong?
Wrong! Wrong! Of course something's wrong! Why didn't you tell me your husband was here?
But I did. Just now. He'll be coming back. Alan!
I'm coming. The rural sit down behind the car seat.
He's here.
Who's here?
Mr. Juergens, and he is strange.
Well, as long as his checkbook's normal. Where is he? Mr. Juergens? Betty, there's nobody in the kitchen.
I saw him. Mr. Juergens! He's gone. And the window's open.
Are you saying Mr. Jurgens climbed out the kitchen window?
Climbed, jumped, dove? How do I know?
Honey, nobody climbs out a kitchen window.
I tell you, I saw him. He went right into the...
Okay, I believe you. You saw him. Did you tell him I was outside?
I think so.
Well, there you go. He went out to meet me.
He went out the window to meet you?
I'm not the one who claimed to see someone go in the kitchen.
He went out the window to meet you.
And there's no outside kitchen door. Maybe there should be.
Alan!
Can you think of another explanation?
No, but I'm gonna find out. I'll bring him back in and he can explain it.
If he's out there.
I heard that. You wait right here.
I'll wait right here. Out the window.
Out the window!
No, honey. Use the door.
Well, hello there. Here you are.
Oh, hello. Are you Mrs. Jurgens?
Mrs. Jurgens? Isn't that a bit formal?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
Mary's
just
upstairs resting, the poor dear. She had a headache and had to lie down. Do you really think of her as Mrs. Jurgens?
Well, after all, I don't know her.
I guess that's true. Not in the biblical sense. It's only a matter of time.
It must seem strange finding me here like this.
Oh, I've had stranger arrangements of my own.
I beg your pardon?
But you're not interested in my story. Where's your flower?
I don't have a flower.
That's what I mean. And you don't resemble David Niven either. Maybe it's your voice. Sing something for me.
Oh, I don't have much of a singing voice.
I know. Go ahead. Sing something romantic.
Obviously, you have me confused.
I know who you are and why you're here. We won't discuss it.
Oh, you mean because of the secret?
That's the way. No names, ships that pass the night, a moment seized and treasured and tucked away in memory.
You haven't told me your name.
Right. And you haven't sung anything for me.
But
It's very dark in here.
Oh. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Is that enough?
Your voice is very sincere.
I sing better in the shower.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. What are you doing?
Oh, here. I'm measuring.
I saw that. Why?
Well, before I get started, I've got to check everything out.
Every what thing?
Well, how would it be if I rushed into a project like this without planning?
Project? Isn't that rather cold-blooded?
Well, what would you call it?
You're right. That's a problem.
And I don't have all that much time.
For someone in a hurry, you seem rather methodical. Are you measuring the couch?
It's a place to start.
Really? A place to start. Well, you live and learn.
It's a science. Perfect.
Do you really think so?
Well, to fit right under that window there.
Ah, is that good?
The light's better.
Only for an hour or so. Do you plan to rearrange all the furniture?
I don't have time for that. I've got to check out the kitchen, the cellar, the bedroom.
Are you going to,
There's only so much you can do in one room.
and you'll be in the bathroom as well?
Of course.
Singing?
What?
But not in the kitchen, surely.
Of course I'll be in the kitchen. I'm not going to do a halfway job.
I can see that. To think what I've missed. Still, all these preparations seem so
necessary? Before I get started, I've got to understand her completely. How old would you say she is?
How old? 35. 29.
Be serious. She's 50 if she's a day. Maybe closer to 60.
How can you say a thing like that?
Experience. You get a feel for it.
But if you really think she's 60, why are you still interested?
Well, the older ones have more character.
Well, I never thought of it like that. We're not getting older, we're getting better.
And there's more of a challenge.
I have lived a sheltered life. Age is what attracted you to her?
Oh, of course not.
Good. You had me worried. What if you found out she was really in her 30s?
I'd still be interested.
I see. I was worried about nothing.
I'd be interested if she were, say, 10, 15.
Now I'm worried again.
The fact is, I had the weekend free, and a man doesn't get very far passing up a challenge like her, no matter the age.
I suppose not.
First thing then, we'll strip her down.
We? Listen, I think you have the wrong idea.
A figure of speech. I'll strip her down.
I think I'm gonna... Here, if you don't need my help measuring anymore.
Oh, if I do, my wife can help.
Your wife?
Yeah, she stepped outside for just a minute.
You brought your wife?
First time, I've always liked her at home before.
Isn't that the usual way?
Well, she's interested in seeing how I do things.
I have been living in a convent.
It's not that surprising. We've only been married a few months, and, well, she's naturally curious.
Well, couldn't you simply describe things to her afterward?
It's not the same as seeing it for yourself.
I guess not.
The fact is, she started a little campaign. She thinks she can change our own living arrangements.
I don't think I want to hear about your living arrangements.
She knew my preferences before we got married.
I think I'm going to go talk to Mary.
No, don't tell her what we've talked
Well,
about.
I have to. No, I won't. Whatever you say.
It's better for her not to know, not just yet.
Yes, better. Yes.
It's just...
Stand back.
I want to surprise her.
Oh, you will. I've got to go.
You're welcome to stay. The more the merrier. Betty, where is she?
Sorry, wrong number. Am I what? No. Is nobody here named of Jurgens? Wrong number. You saw my car, Corinne? Okay, you got me, I'm here. I don't know if the place is for sale. Listen, mister, I just came to read the gas meter. No gas? Okay, I'll read the electric meter.
She's in there
Right,
now.
I'll tell Mr. Jurgens.
I'm telling you, I saw her. And that window is closed.
But I know it was open a minute ago.
Forget the window. With Jurgens getting here late, we're likely to have to stay the night.
He's here. Alan, I told you, I saw him.
Where?
Well,
You know,
somewhere.
we don't have this sort of problem in the condo.
What?
5 stories up, nobody climbs out our window.
Okay, Alan, you've made your point.
I'm
I
sorry.
should have stayed home.
No, I'm glad you came.
Really? I haven't been much help.
Sure you have. Well, without you, I never would have known about self-opening windows.
Alan, in just a minute, I'm gonna leave.
No, stay. I'm sorry. I'll stop kidding. Promise. If we're gonna stay, we're gonna have to eat.
Now I'm the cook.
Well, I'm certainly not. Remember when you had the flu and I made dinner?
Cheese sandwiches.
I was trying.
Each slice of cheese still wrapped in cellophane.
You see, you can go back to that fish bake place. I'm sure they've got bread, meat, eggs, cold cuts. I bet they've got nothing in the refrigerator.
I'll make a list. You find Mr. Jurgens. The window is open again!
Never mind the window.
Alan Carroll, not one word.
Then I broke my glasses and had to borrow these from Miss Desmond, my secretary. Damn optometrists. Just like the police. Never there when you need them. I'm sorry I'm late, but I see you found the place. Shh! What?
Can you talk more quietly?
Why are you whispering?
Laryngitis, keep your voice down.
I don't have laryngitis.
You will, it's very contagious.
Maybe you should see
see a doctor.
Oh, good idea!
I didn't mean now.
Shh!
I didn't mean now.
Now!
I want to show you the place.
Now!
Isn't that why you came?
Is it? Of course it is!
Wait a second. You are Mr. Carroll, aren't you?
Of course I am. Anything you say, just reading the meter.
Well then, what do you think of her?
Her who?
The cottage.
Oh, lovely, wonderful cottage. Beautiful cottage. Let's go out and check the foundation and then I have to leave.
Not until I tell you about my wife.
Your wife.
Mary.
Oh, God.
And I've got you trapped.
Oh, God.
Your car, I mean.
What about my car?
I'm parked behind it. You can't get out.
In the garage, both cars?
In the driveway. Behind your...
I knew it. A few phone calls into... What do you mean you're parked behind it?
Mr. Carroll, you're really very... Okay. Your car's parked outside the garage, and my car...
Is it?
Isn't it?
Oh, of course. Right there, outside the... Are you sure?
And I'm parked behind it, so you can't leave till we settle things.
Is the key in your car?
What's the difference?
Wait here. I'll be right back. If I'm not, start without me!
Mr. Carroll!
Did you hear it? I told you Lyle was here.
Where?
With his wife.
Florence, that's ridiculous. A man doesn't bring his wife along to... Does he?
None of mine ever did.
There, you see?
But that was nearly a year ago. The world was much simpler then.
Lyle told me he's not married.
Of course he wouldn't lie.
Lyle?
Well, if he's not a liar, then he's crazy. He was measuring things.
What things?
Everything. The couch, the window, everything.
Nothing looks measured.
The world was much simpler this morning. Let's assume Lyle's normal. Where is he?
Taking a walk. That's it. He's taking a walk in the woods. Lyle loves trees and birds.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I'll bet he walked down by the lake. I'll wait here and you go talk to him?
I've already talked to him, and it'll be a week before my head clears. You talk to him.
I've never even met him.
All right. Together, for protection. We'll both go talk to him. But if he drags out that measuring tape...
He's out there. You'll see. Down at the lake.
Uh-huh. Measuring the fish.
Or maybe some fresh fish if they have any closed.
And I'll lock that window.
You could nail it shut.
Never mind that. You can take the path to the woods. It's only 100 yards out to the road. Faster than driving.
I'll hurry. I want to be here when you ask Mr. Allen, why is the phone off the hook?
What phone?
If you tell me you don't see a phone either,
All right. I see the phone. Huh. Nobody there. You must have knocked it off the cradle when we went into the kitchen.
I must have. Why do you say
I'm just saying that one of us must have.
Okay.
And I know I didn't.
Neither did I.
Right. And neither did you. So it must have been me.
Thank you.
Or one of us. It must have been you. I don't think it was me, but... Betty, grab some beer, will ya?
Who is it? Listen, mister, I don't have the time. You again. No, I finished reading the meter, but my car's trapped in the garage. How do I know? 2 cars? Blocking the garage door? Never mind, you wouldn't understand. Absolutely, I'll tell him. Mr. Tank Shiflett called as soon as it... Ah!
Mr. Carroll?
Mr. Juergens?
There you are. Why didn't you... Is that you, Carroll?
Betty was right. You did get in.
Of course I got in. You and I just... What happened to your flower?
What flower?
Weren't you taller before?
Before what?
Never mind. I guess it's these glasses. No mustache either.
Do you think I should have a mustache?
Well, it's up to you, but I wish you'd make up your mind about it. What have you decided?
About a mustache?
About the cottage. I don't know how you could examine the foundation so fast, but I'm not an architect.
Right. Mr. Jurgens, what do you say we sit down?
Anything to hold still. I'm too tired for all this chasing around.
About the cottage, I do have some ideas, but before I get into them, I'd like to know what you had in mind.
It's very simple. My wife and I have... How long have you been here?
Just a few minutes. Why?
Have you started painting already? I smell turpentine.
Painting?
Oh, skip it. Miss Desmond's glasses are doing funny things to me.
Right. About the cottage, I was thinking...
Right. Are you married, Carol?
5 months.
You're not married.
But we were just...
Hang on now. I meant 5 months isn't married like 10 years is married. You understand?
I guess?
Mary and I have been, what do the magazines say, drifting apart. My job, I guess. There was a time when she went along on business trips with me. Interested in my work, you understand?
Exactly. My wife's actually
But that's
just...
over. I work. She reads romance novels and spends all day on the phone. Well, I don't want to bore you with a whole tired story.
Oh, I'm not bored.
I am. And so is Mary. And I don't blame her. That's why you're here. She loves this cottage. Why? I don't know. Never could stand all the bugs myself. But if you think it could be remodeled without costing me an arm and a leg, well, I might take a week off to celebrate our anniversary. Get reacquainted, if you catch my meaning. A second honeymoon.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
That's a lousy idea. I'd rather spend a week in a good hotel somewhere. If Mary really loves this place, I'll do it for her. 10 years.
I see.
You don't see. Not after 5 months. But let that go. I want it to be a surprise for her. For Mary. If you think it's possible.
Well, she is still in pretty good shape.
Mary? I guess so.
The cottage is structurally sound, just a little worn.
Mary too. And me, I guess. I've thought about getting rid of her a dozen times, after 10
And Mary, your wife?
Certainly not! The cottage! Have you been listening
I'm sorry,
to me?
Mr. Jurgens. It was just that I was thinking... Hold on. And the window's open again.
What does that mean?
There's some connection. When the phone is off the hook, the window is open. There's some connection.
Like an electric eye on a door?
I don't know. Do you think so? Still open.
What's still open?
It didn't move.
What didn't move?
It's just when that's the and it. My wife's been seeing things.
Is your wife in the kitchen?
She was at the fish bait place buying our dinner.
Carol, listen to me. I've had a rough week. I know Mary suspects something because I lied to her about coming up here. Yesterday, she wouldn't speak to me. My company just lost the contract for 40,000 plastic high chair trays. I broke my glasses. Leaving the office, I had to borrow my secretary's extra pair. And her head is so narrow, the damn things are gouging grooves through my sideburns. Now, I'm really not up to open windows and electric eye phones. Can we get down?
You're absolutely right, Mr. Jurgens. What do you say we start upstairs? It'll be dark up there soon.
It'll be dark everywhere soon, but I think I understand. Lead the way.
If we split the room into a pair of rooms, it'll make the space feel more intimate.
Intimate, huh? Now we're getting to it. Carol!
Coming!
Keys, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Now I have to move 2 cars. Where are the car keys?
I just don't understand it. Are you sure you saw him?
Could I make up a story like that?
Well, according to Bob, he was right.
I know what Bob thinks of you.
Bob doesn't dislike you. He thinks you make up stories.
Have I ever told you anything that wasn't the absolute truth?
You told me Lyle was here, waiting.
I had him sing for me. In this very room, he had a folding ruler and that briefcase.
Yes?
It was right here. It was brown with initials on it. I saw it as clearly as I see you.
I'm over here.
I know where you are. You wouldn't think a little slap and tickle would be so complicated. It's your innocence, Mary. That's it. I've never had trouble like this.
Rejected. Lyle's never even seen me, and I've already been rejected at my age.
Oh, he'll be back, no matter how old you are.
Never should have let you talk me into this.
Lyle talked you into this. I'm just your caddy.
You're the one who said, show Bob a thing or two.
Uh-huh, but showing Lyle was your idea. I simply agreed.
I thought sure he'd be down at the lake waiting.
You don't suppose he fell in, do you?
Florence, Lyle can't swim.
Wait, everyone can swim. How do you know Lyle can't swim?
He told me on the phone.
What kind of conversations did you two have?
Well, we had to talk about something. We hadn't done anything to talk about yet.
He can't sing, he can't swim, he measures couches, and he brought his wife. You're better off if he did fall in.
No, we have heard the splash.
I'll bet he doesn't splash either.
Didn't even wait to see me. Bob never looks at me anymore.
Oh, no self-pity now, Mary. You're an attractive woman.
Not to Bob.
Even if you weren't. Lyle didn't seem all that particular.
What?
Nothing, dear. Just muttering.
I thought this was the perfect place. You know, Bob and I came here on our honeymoon.
Yes, Mary.
I don't think I ever told you about that, did I?
14 times by actual count.
Upstairs, he took the mattresses off all 3 beds, put them side by side on the floor. He said it was a pad for the Jolly Green Giant. What?
Bob has a wonderful sense of humor.
Tell the truth, I never liked the cottage anyway. Rusty water straight from the faucet, mosquitoes the size of hummingbirds. I tried talking Bob into an apartment, but he loved the place so much I made myself enjoy it.
Let's go look for Lyle.
You should have seen him on our honeymoon.
I'll bet he's out in the woods, searching for you.
They made a fire outside every night. We sat watching sunset over the lake.
In a minute, I'm going to cry. Here.
There were 2 cardinals in the elm tree. Lovebirds, we called them.
Yes, Mary, I've heard the story.
You've heard the story?
When you get all wistful and saccharine and start in
Saccharine? Just because none of your marriages worked out, you can't just
Now, wait a minute. Some of them worked out. For a while, anyway. Nearly 2 months that lasted.
Sorry, my marriage bores you.
Well, my marriage has bored me too. Just don't recount your honeymoon for a diabetic. He'll go into insulin shock. Dear, you remember your honeymoon, and that's wonderful. I remember all of mine. If you want to talk about it, that's fine. Just remember that we're here to let Lyle resurrect those fantasies for you. Let's go.
Where are we going?
I'm gonna buy you a pair of cardinals for the elm tree, light a fire, everything. We're gonna go find the light of your life,
It's so,
wherever he is.
so easy in all those novels. He held her close, his lips pressed to hers, her knees melted.
Okay, let's go find the man who'll melt your knees.
Automobile club. Is there someone there who can tell me how to jump a car ignition? Member? No. Just want some information. How do you start a car without the keys? I don't want to join the automobile club. I wasn't shouting. No, miss. I want to know. Yes, miss. Look, think of it this way. I'm just asking for a sample of your service. If it works, if it gets me out of here, I'll join, I swear it. Good. Then let me speak with Mr.
Lyle,
Oh,
where
talk to
are
me.
you?
Is anyone down there?
Come on, wherever you are.
I know that I heard somebody. Where's your wife?
My wife? At home.
But her friend said that she was upstairs resting.
What friend? Is this your briefcase?
I'm lucky it's not a beer bottle.
Mr. Carroll, are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. I'd started working here, and your wife's friend, who wouldn't tell me her name, said that your wife was resting upstairs.
You just saw. She's not.
That's what's bothering me. How could it be a surprise if your wife were here?
It couldn't. And she isn't. And she wasn't. And we are, but I won't be for long if we don't...
The telephone!
Now the man's hearing phones ring.
I didn't hear the phone ring.
You shouted telephone because you didn't hear the phone ring. What do you shout when you do hear it ring?
I don't shout anything. I just mean it's off the hook again.
Now it's back. And the window's closed. And my wife isn't here. And your briefcase isn't a beer bottle. This pressure's affecting my hearing.
Mr. Juergens, believe me, this isn't my normal behavior.
I wonder if insanity is as contagious as laryngitis.
Your wife is here. I wasn't imagining her friend.
Okay, slowly now, describe her.
Attractive woman, maybe 40, well dressed, except for her stockings.
A little brassy looking, about this tall.
About?
Florence. It had to be. Now listen, we'll go down to the lake and check. Mary used to like sitting by the water, and if she's here, that's where we'll find her. But if she is here, you've got to be someone besides an architect.
Oh, because of the surprise, you mean?
My God, you understood me the first time. Now, I'll introduce you as, let's say, you're a plastic salesman from out of town.
If you say so.
And if Mary's really here, come on.
She is, you'll see.
On that cellar door. Why? Tell me that.
It's because he's trying to keep the lawnmower in.
We left nothing down there but an old canoe.
Well, it won't get out.
New padlock means something.
I don't think this is the best time to talk
I
about
get my
this.
hands on that man.
What could you
He
possibly
thinks
do?
all over.
Quiet! I'm sorry, but you better cool it.
How can I cool it? Bob's having his cheap, sneaking affair right here in our honeymoon cottage.
You're talking pot and kettle, or goose and gander. Be careful what you start up.
Don't you try to defend him. You saw Bob's car parked out there.
I'll admit it looked like Bob's car.
And his second car as well.
I'll admit it looked like a second car as well.
Well, what more do you need to see? Bob's here somewhere, and so's she.
She who?
She who what?
Which she who do you mean?
The she who he's seeing. That's which she who.
Oh, Mary, take a breath. I could have stayed home and washed windows.
You're giving me a headache, Mary. It's worse than talking to Lyle. I'm being perfectly rational, and you know it. I'll bet it's Miss Desmond. I wish I could have heard you and Lyle on the phone. The two of you, singing and swimming. Leave Lyle out of this. Bob's the one who's got some explaining to do. I can leave him out. But can you?
If you confront Bob, how will you explain Lyle?
There's nothing to explain. He's gone.
We devoutly pray. How will you explain him being here in the first place?
She's the one who has to explain.
She who... Never mind. I'm sorry I brought it up. You don't even know who she is. Wouldn't it be smarter to get the facts before you accuse Bob of anything?
You don't think he's innocent, do you?
Not a chance. But if you tell him off too soon, we won't learn any details. Aren't you a little curious?
Not a bit.
I would be. The she-who he's here with must have something.
Oh, you mean something I don't?
Let's get the facts, then tell him off. Besides, you left your bag upstairs.
Well, that doesn't matter.
The bag with the bottle of champagne, the negligee.
That matters. Let's go get it.
Good idea. We'll bring it to the car, then we'll come back here and corner them.
Like we're just arriving.
We'll make you as sneaky as Bob is. That's the way to trip him up.
Remove all the evidence.
And pray that Lyle is miles away by now.
He is. I'm sure he is.
Who locked that window?
There you are. What window? Oh, in the kitchen.
How do you expect anyone to get out of a locked window? Answer me that!
So you were going out the window.
You bet your... Sorry. Now whose cars are out there?
Ours.
Don't lie to me, you didn't drive 2 cars.
One is yours.
Mine's inside the garage, but in the driveway there's a station wagon and a blue Ford.
The station wagon is ours. Isn't the blue one yours?
I can't move the station wagon till the Ford leaves.
Those are Alan's keys.
Who's
How did you-
Alan?
My husband. How did you get them?
That's another thing. I'm not rich. Did you think I was rich?
I never thought about it. Alan says you're successful.
I won't pay you a cent.
You mean you don't plan to pay my husband?
I won't be blackmailed. It's entrapment.
Mr. Jurgens.
Whatever your husband asks for, I won't pay it.
Hello? Anybody home?
Oh God, does he have a gun?
A gun?
Stay back, I'm not armed.
I saw the cards outside and thought,
A priest. Then who was the other one?
Let go of me.
Mr. Jurgens, I've been calling you. You folks having a spot of trouble?
A married priest, you're a bigamist. A bigamistress.
We're not folks.
A married priest who blackmails his wife's lover.
What?
His wife's friend. We're just friends, Father. Tell him, Mary, we're just friends.
I think you better let up some squeezing, little fella. Mr. Jurgens?
Who are you?
Mr. Jurgens. Mr. Jurgens, have you ever thought about selling this cute little old house of yours?
Alan, where are you?
Mr. Jurgens, I got me this dinky little church camp right next door, and I'd surely like to talk about expanding my holdings. Shoot, I don't think he's listening. Well, there you go, little buddy. Come on, let's get you up. How about we work the king size, stretch muscles one? You know, the Cowboys, they had this one trainer. He could pound the knots out in a New York minute. You'd come in all beat up and battered. Before the interviewers were done with old Starbuck or one of them other stars, I'd be buck naked on a trainer's table. You'd have to be ready to go in minutes, you know what I mean?
What are you gonna do to me?
Well, right here on the shoulder. That's the point where you tighten up the boat. As soon as I pound that
Oh, when
more-
you came in, we were only talking. There was nothing happening.
Aw, shoot. Don't mean nothing to me if you and the missus squabble some. I never seen me a couple what didn't have their set twos. If you and the little lady got to let off steam, yeah, you're good as grits.
But,
Long as nobody gets hurt.
oh, you mean she's not your wife?
My wife? Oh, my Jolene, she's a big old thing. She'd make 2 of that one. No, sir, I've taken her for your wife.
Oh, I'm not married, Father.
I ain't no father, neither. At least not in the way you mean it. Back when I wasn't but a hell-raising kid, I scattered my seed here and there, but since I took the call, it's been only the one woman for me, most of the time. Now, if Jolene was to catch me catting around, she'd peel the hide plumb off me. It's only your Catholics that call anybody father. I'm brother, Tank Shiflett.
Oh, hello.
Tank Shiflett?
Yes, I heard you.
Oh, no reason you ought to know the name. You do watch football, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course, you don't look like no pansy to me. All pro, 3 years. Big interception in the Super Bowl. Tank Shiflett.
Oh, of course.
That was back before I took the call. Now, I do some trading. I sell this and that. And I got me a little camp here next door on the lake. I give some talks to the boys' clubs and the Rotaries. You know, inspirational talks about the big game.
Oh, absolutely. The big game.
You show me a quarterback who ain't too proud to get right down on his old prairie bones and ask the big coach for help. I'll show you a quarterback who can pick up a football and he can purely throw that mother.
Would you know how to start a car without the keys?
That's why I came to see you. My camp over there. I could surely work up a grin if we was to talk about me buying this little house of yours.
My house.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jurgens. So I've been calling you. You know, and writing you and all. When I saw the cars in the driveway, I just knowed you'd come up here to talk business. Ain't that right?
Oh, you're right. So look the place over and I'll call you.
Oh, now. I done all the looking I need. You give me a price, we'll see if we can't come to terms.
Oh, no, I mean not yet. We've redone the upstairs, everything. It's all new, so you should take a look
You ain't
around.
been fooling around the cellar now, have you?
I haven't been fooling around anywhere.
Let's just get this down. You give me a price, and we'll make a deal.
Here, let me give this to you. Now, I wouldn't leave without my carnation, would I?
You don't think it made me look like no sissy,
Oh,
now, do
I
you?
Mr.
insist.
Jurgens,
Oh.
I'm coming in. Have you seen?
It's a...
Where is he?
Well, that's a stumper now, ain't it? We was right here talking, next thing you know, he's gone, just like that. I gotta say, he's quick. Those little men, sometimes they got quick moves. Maybe no staying power.
You're not making sense. My husband is here somewhere, and I want to know what Mr. Jurgens has done with him.
Done with him. I don't think Jurgens do nothing with your husband, Missy. He's a football fan.
You're not making sense.
Well, you take your tennis players and their itty bitty white shorts and their terry cloth bracelets. I wouldn't put nothing past that. A football fan, they're
Have
expensive.
you seen my husband, Alan Carroll?
For a bit, you know, for a minute there, Mr. Jurgens thought I was your husband. Does he look like me?
Not a bit.
Never you mind, Missy. I'm sure you're happy in your own way.
Will you be quiet?
Yeah, anything you say.
My husband is an architect. He came here to see about remodeling the cottage, but Mr. Jurgens said he won't pay Alan no matter what he does.
Remodel? You mean like fooling around the cellar? Oh, that ain't right. You don't suppose he already started, do you?
How do I... Yes? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell. Who? Just a minute. Is your name Tank?
Well, that's what they call me, Missy. Tank Shiflett, all pro, 3 years.
Why?
Why what?
Why do they call you... Never mind. Some woman on the phone wants to talk to you.
Now, ain't that something? They follow me everywhere I go. How do you suppose she knew I was up
Take
here?
it! The window is open again! There's got to be a connection.
Hello, Missy. This is the Tank speaking.
Jolene? Yeah, honey? No, honey. Oh, honey. As soon as we talk some business. Uh-huh. Fell in the lake, you say? Oh, well, nope, he was here in the room with me. Okay, honey. I'll do that. All right, bye-bye now.
That was my wife. She said she saw somebody fall in the lake right off the old pier out there.
Good. I hope it was Mr. Jurgens.
No need to get hostile now, Nellie.
I'm gonna nail that window shut. Then we'll see how he sneaks back in here.
I believe he went upstairs.
Tell you, I did hear someone relieved the way we came in. Back through the stocking shredder, and Bob will never know we were here.
I want him to know. I want to see his face when I catch him with that woman.
You will. But can we get rid of that first? Back to the car, then we'll drive back here and confront them.
What if he hears the car?
Have you been hearing cars?
Footsteps, I told you.
2 of them, parked right outside, and we didn't hear either drive up. Neither will Bob.
Where is he?
Are they?
What? All right. Where are they?
Don't worry, they can't be far off. But we've got to get you out of here unseen.
Wait till I see that man.
You can use my lawyer.
Your lawyer?
For the divorce. You'll need an attorney, and Albert is so good at it. I'll bet you end up with the house and cottage both.
I don't want the cottage. Wish I'd never seen it. And I don't need a lawyer.
You will, and I wouldn't trust anyone but Albert. At my last wedding, he gave me away.
Who said anything about a divorce?
Oh, but it was all right with Albert. He knew he'd get me back later. Who said? You can't mean you'd stay with Bob. After this?
I just want him to explain.
Would he accept an explanation?
What do I have to explain?
Lyle,
That was, harmless flirtation.
if we get rid of that negligee and bottle of champagne, he might believe you.
And Lyle's safely gone anyway.
But suppose he were still here somewhere. Would Bob settle for an explanation?
Bob would kill him.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill that floozy he's with.
Oh, please, Mary, you'll talk him to death. Let's go.
You go. I'm waiting right here. I'll hide and watch for them so they can't sneak out while we're gone.
I guess it's the only way. A chaperone with torn stockings was bad enough. Now I'm a porter, chauffeur.
It's not Miss Desmond. It's another one.
Alan!
Who's Alan?
Keep nailed the window shut! If I didn't lock you, I'll sue, that's what! Keys, where are the car keys? Whiskey!
There really should have been a light at the end of that tube. The fact that there's not, it's inconceivable. I suppose I should have warned you, but I thought you could see those loose boards on the pier. Carol, you can't expect me to see, not with these lousy glasses. And besides, it's not as if you won't dry out. Now you go upstairs and get out of those wet clothes. There's an old robe of my wife's up there. It fits Mary, but on you, Carol, it'll probably be too small in the chest. All right, sulk. I can understand that, but you wouldn't have stayed under so long if those bottles hadn't filled up when you fell in. All right, I understand. Yes, I should have warned you. All right, I know that I... Call me when you got your clothes off. I'll come get them.
Get my clothes off. Are you talking to me?
Who are you?
The next owner of this here cottage. So you better watch yourself.
The next... Wait a minute. Tank Shiplet?
You recognize me, huh?
Not in those clothes.
Watch yourself.
The signed picture you sent me in your last letter didn't have you in those pajamas.
This is a cowboy warm-up suit.
Oh, cowboy. wanted to be a fireman.
Dallas Cowboys, and I never wrote you in my life.
3 times, even more phone calls. Aren't you the one who wanted to buy this place? I'm Bob Jurgens.
Well then, who was the other fella?
You must mean the architect.
Architect. That'd be why he's talking remodel and stuff.
I imagine so. How'd you get in here?
Well, the architect feller, he let me in. Well, he was laying on the couch, but pleased to meet you. Brother Tank Shipment, all pro, 3 years.
Mr. I didn't follow that.
You do watch football.
Tennis.
In itty bitty white shorts.
Oh, I think they've got green horses on them, but I'm damned if I'll unzip to check.
You watch yourself.
Today, I can't even see myself. If Mary didn't love this place, I'd sell it in a minute. I wouldn't even be here, except I had to meet someone without my wife knowing. Why don't you make me an offer? We'll have a place to start.
Well, there you go. We'll settle. But you're not going to want to shake on it, are you?
Mr. Shiflett, please.
You call me Brother Tank. You see, I got me this dinky little church camp next to here on the lake. And, well, I'd like to talk to you about expanding my homes. With that and Jolene, she really would like to get out of the itty bitty trailer we got, you know?
I don't think I saw a trailer.
The feller who sold it to me, he said it was a mobile home, but it ain't nothing but a trailer up on these cement blocks. What I do, besides a few little private businesses, I run me a football camp here for boys in the summertime. I got 3 or 4 cowboys come up and we learn them some stuff. And then I say grace at the training table and tell them to keep straight with the big coach and all. But some of those boys, when they see the temple, they just turn right around and haul ass.
I know I didn't see a temple.
But Jolene and me, we make a sign. It says, Temple of the Brotherhood of Athletes. Gold letters, about yay high. Only thing is, it starts at the door, it goes over the window, and then, well, it goes about a foot beyond the trailer hitch over here. But it'd look really classy up here on your porch.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to get a new sign?
Well, there's other reasons I like this place here. How about you and me hunker down and we get to it?
I understand. The cottage is half my wife's.
Well, who wears the pants in your family?
I can't get rid of her just like that.
I know what you mean. My Jolene, she's a real rip snorter.
But a man I know thinks, with a facelift, she might be good for a few more years.
You mean the architect feller with the mustache?
No, he decided against a mustache. Now, if you're prepared to offer...
Who are you?
Aha! I caught you! Aha!
Uh-huh? What have you been reading? And what are you doing here? I thought you were at home.
I know what you thought, Robert Jurgens. You thought you could meet your mistress here. Why are you wearing Miss Desmond's glasses?
I'm not his mistress.
You keep out of this, you homewrecker.
And he's not Mr. Jurgens.
Didn't you have nerve enough to tell her your real name? Robert.
Well, this sure spoils the surprise. I was hoping
You were
that...
hoping I didn't know you sneaked up here, weren't you? Well, jig's up.
The jig is up should have come right after aha. I think these glasses are giving me hallucinations. No wonder Miss Desmond can't type.
Can I explain what I'm...
You're young enough to be his sister.
She's right, Mary. Let's sort this out like adults.
Or adulterers. One adulterer. You.
Do I have to be insulted by a stranger?
Let me introduce you. And you can't leave anyway. I've got your car blocked. This is my wife, Mary. And I guess that you're married to an architect? Is that right?
Alan and I came out here to...
Please. I know why you're here. Maybe too late to keep the secret, but...
Certainly is. I know your tricks, Robert Jurgens. Her husband, indeed. You expect me to believe that?
It's true.
Bringing your husband along is the most... Your husband's name isn't Lyle, is it?
Lyle?
I knew it. Oh my gosh.
It's Alan. Alan Carroll. I asked him to meet
His
me here.
name's
And
not Lyle. All right, Bob. Convince me.
I suppose I could show you his birth certificate, but other than that...
Convince me you and she didn't have a rendezvous.
Oh, honey, you know I wouldn't...
Convince me from over there. No touching. I want the truth.
Alan does the same thing. If he can't persuade me any other way, he tries buttering me up. Back rubs.
I've known the trick years longer than... Yes, I know.
Stop helping! Or, if you must help me, not her.
Women have to stick together in times like these.
Oh my, Mary, I had a business meeting here with a man. This lady's husband. That's all I can tell you.
Does your husband's cheek twitch like that when he's lying?
No. But he looks at the floor.
It's the truth. It's a simple arrangement. I'd rather not get into it. I came here to meet a man. There you are, Carol.
What is all the commotion?
This is Carol. It's not a she-who, it's a he-who.
Tennis players.
Hi, Betty. Did you get the groceries?
Do you know they wanted $8 a bottle for beer at that place?
Oh, lordy, lordy.
And what happened to you?
I fell in the lake.
Bob, you should have told me. I'm your wife, I could understand.
That puts you several steps ahead of me. I haven't understood a thing since I put on Miss Desmond's glasses.
About him. Him.
Honey, beer can't be $8 a bottle.
I grabbed a six-pack and he asked me for $48.
And why that tone? Would you rather I was meeting some woman?
I certainly would.
Oh, I get it. You're so quick to jump to conclusions about me because you were meeting someone here.
Me? That's the silliest thing I ever heard.
You must have just misunderstood him, that's all.
I haven't understood a thing since he put on Miss Desmond's glasses.
What does that mean?
It seemed like the right thing to say. I don't know. I've been looking everybody. And when I walked in, I was thinking you could
These people are.
Quiet! Can we all just calm down? I'm having a fight with my wife, and I don't know why. Why?
It's bad enough to think of you and some woman here, but this?
It's them itty-bitty white shorts and terry cloth bracelets.
You stay out of this, brother, or I'll knock your temple off the blocks and let it roll into the lake. Carol is an architect. I asked him to meet me here to talk about remodeling the cottage. For you, for our anniversary. Does that explain it?
So you and he, you aren't,
Or what? Mary!
Somebody had to ask.
Shipman!
It's that get-up. You don't see it every day.
I'm sorry, Bob. Of course you weren't. So you're the one who's not named Lyle.
Me?
There are others not named Lyle, but she means you.
Alan Carroll, architect, soaking wet, happily married to her.
Then get out of that outfit before people...
Shiflett!
Just talking, that's all.
And now, more than ever, an apartment lover.
But you'll have to admit, this place is more exciting.
Who's Lyle? You were meeting someone here, that's it. And there he is!
Where?
What?
Outside!
When?
Now! I just heard a car drive up!
Another car! No!
That's the first, Mr. Jurgens.
I've never been married before.
Don't let him get away!
I'll get you, little fella.
Sit!
Get him, Alan.
In these clothes, I can't run fast
He'll
enough.
circle the house! You follow him! And I'll cut him off this way!
Oh wait, there's probably a simple explanation.
Mr. Jurgens.
Just sneak back in the window.
Betty.
A maniac just kicked me in my good stocking and is now pounding on the roof of my Toyota and crying.
It's you again.
I thought we got rid of you.
The pier was booby-trapped.
It's your own fault. You and your singing.
Hey, you asked me to sing, and it was only the one song. Happy birthday.
Don't you know her husband's here?
I don't think so. Happy birthday came to mind, and I was
No,
just...
Mary's husband, Bob. He's here somewhere.
There he goes, past the window.
We've got to get you out of here and Where are your clothes?
They're all wet, so I changed.
Were you singing in the shower?
What?
You said you sing in the shower, but this isn't the
I
best time.
fell in the lake through that rotten pier.
I wish you'd had the good sense to
So
drown.
I swam ashore, came up here to get
Another
changed.
lie. Mary says you can't swim.
So the pier was booby-trapped.
You've been lying since you got here. No wonder poor Mary's so confused. You get your clothes, I'll watch for Bob Juergens, and you can get out of here unseen. Where is your wife?
Guarding the kitchen window.
Why would she be... Never mind. Your wife would do that. We've got to get you up to the bedroom.
The bedroom?
We've got to get this robe off of you before anyone sees you.
Really? What about me?
Oh, you must be the wife. Well, you can watch if you have to, but I'd rather you guard the kitchen window. And watch for Bob Juergens.
But first, Mr. Juergens disappeared behind the house. Alan, what is she doing?
You've got me.
I'm trying to get these clothes off.
Am I allowed to ask why?
So he can put his clothes back on. Aren't you his wife?
This is my wife.
Then you know all about it. You came to watch. You're kinky as well. Who are you?
Tank Shiflett, all pro, 3 years.
What did you say? Carnation.
I never said Carter.
Quiet. I think I understand now. I don't know who you two are, but get upstairs and get that robe off.
That's the second time she's tried to get your robe off.
After what she did to me at
Both
the
of
pier.
you upstairs now.
What about the pier?
And she tried drowning me.
I thought you fell in.
My clothes aren't dry.
Then blow on them, but hurry.
Do you think we're on candid camera?
I was on SportsCenter once, maybe you seen me.
Why are you so late?
You talking to me, man?
Ma'am, how old do you think I... Never mind. What happened was I thought he was you.
Mr. Juergens thought he was me too, but he
I
was
don't have
stretched on
time.
the couch.
Do you mean Bob Juergens? We've got to get you out of here before he sees you.
He seen me, and we talked.
But he doesn't know you're here, does he?
He certainly does.
You're mad. He can't know.
It's his cottage, ain't it?
Yes, and Mary's too. But we've got to get you out of here.
A man's got his rights. Now, I wouldn't just come in here without his permission now, would I?
You couldn't have agreed to that.
He will when he hears what I have to offer.
What could you possibly offer him?
Well, cash on the barrel. Cash talks, my daddy always said. I figure I'd just upright and buy her.
Buy her?
Yes, ma'am. Juergens is a businessman. He'll listen, won't he?
You're incredible. How would Mary feel if she heard you talking like this?
Well, I figured to settle it with Juergens man to man. He can tell her about it.
I think I'm beginning to like the one upstairs better. I must be making another mistake. Let's start here. Mary Juergens came here to meet a man.
Well, there ain't no shortage of them. I've seen 2 or 3 already, and I ain't even checked the lake yet.
No. Are you the man?
What man is that, ma'am?
Stop calling me ma'am. Did Mary come here to meet you?
Well, I couldn't rightly say. A lot of them do. These gals, they come up here, they say it's the autograph they're after, but Jolene, she just don't.
Quiet. I need to think. Bob's around here somewhere. There's a man upstairs with his wife. Then who was that pounding on my Toyota?
But I don't want to leave. It's too exciting.
Wet or dry, we're getting off of this funny farm.
Now that's a good idea. You folks go ahead and leave.
Quiet.
Major.
Mary's in trouble, and we
Bob's
need
gonna call the police.
Has Bob seen you? Did he find you yet? Where's he? Bob, darling, how nice to see you.
I thought I recognized your car.
Was the man still pounding on the roof and crying?
See how dull our apartment is?
That's why I'm homesick.
Pounding on your roof? For no reason?
Maybe he hates Toyotas.
The question is, what are you doing here?
Isn't this your wife?
I'll handle this. You see, Mary and I had just arrived, and we hadn't just arrived. Well, we hadn't just arrived.
I know. Mary's been with me. Watching some man break into the cellar.
He had a key.
Key, dog bone. It just hit the fan.
He unlocked the padlock with a key and barricaded himself in the cellar.
Who gave him the key?
I might could try a comeback. The Broncos always need linebackers.
I don't know what you've got locked up down there, but you're the only one who could have a key.
I honestly don't know what's going on?
And that's why you jumped to conclusions about me, wasn't it? A guilty conscience.
If you'll let me explain.
Have you seen enough?
How can you leave now? It's like 6 months of the young and the restless boiled down to an hour.
The old and the restless.
I'm listening.
You don't understand. We were... Florence?
I don't understand either. We were what?
I know what kind of story she tells.
Oh, is that so? Well, if you must know, Mary and I came here to meet someone. A man.
Florence!
A man named Florence.
Florence, maybe we should...
No, if he wants to hear, then I'll be happy to tell him. Mary and I came here to meet a man.
Oh, dear.
That is, I came here to meet a man, and Mary came along as my chaperone.
A chaperone? For you?
Wrong, huh? Well, you can take it or leave it. But it was a blind date, so I decided to meet him here because... Mary?
Because he lives nearby?
Exactly! And I didn't know the man, so that rather than drive up here on my own, I asked Mary to come along with me. Isn't that so?
That's so.
That's so unlikely. It might even be true.
Absolutely! And I didn't know the man, so he said he'd wear a boutonniere so I could recognize
A carnation?
Brother Shiflett.
Yeah?
Did you say you lived next door?
Uh-huh.
And would you say next door is nearby?
Nah.
I would say next door is nearby. And what would you say that is?
Budweiser.
Under the Budweiser.
My shirt.
He's a priest?
Between the shirt and the Budweiser.
Looky here. There's some kind of flower. The architect fella gave it to me. I wasn't meeting no one honest.
Alan, did you give him that?
I've never seen that man before.
Are you an architect? No wonder you were measuring.
You and I spoke earlier. Did I have a flower?
Bob, he didn't.
You're a priest?
No, ma'am. A preacher. Brother Tank Shifley, all pro.
A
3 years.
preacher? How could you?
Well, I sent $10 to this TV church. Anybody can become a preacher if they send $10 from California.
That's not what she means. She means, how could you possibly agree to meet a woman here?
Oh, no, I never, Mr. Jurgens, now, I never agreed to meet no one here, honest. Not right next door to the temple. I wouldn't do that. Well, not in daylight. And with all you people here. And besides, Jolene, she just tear the hide right off me.
I'm sorry I ever agreed to meet you. The date is off. Does that do it?
You're wonderful, Florence.
There's still some pieces missing. Let it go.
If it turns out he's my lost twin brother, I'm gonna be sick.
They don't look anything alike.
Never you mind, Missy. She's happy in her own way. Some women just said,
Shiflett!
oh, Lordy, what you touchy.
Carol, what do you say we drop the idea of remodeling this place? I don't think I could take a whole week here.
Oh, I could. I haven't had this much excitement since Disney World.
I don't need that kind of excitement. I wanted to find a spot for a second honeymoon, and I know how you love the cottage, so...
Me? I hate the place. Couldn't we go to a nice hotel?
Or a condominium?
What?
You take our apartment for the weekend, and we'll stay here. Won't we, Alan?
I know it.
Mr. Jurgens, about me buying this cute little cottage of yours, if they was to be here all weekend, that would just...
Hello there! That's some playroom you got, Jurgens, old boy. Which one of you is Jurgens, old boy?
Hey now, we just talking business. You just...
Shut up, Fats, or I'll tell the press to take steroids. White lightning, it'll clean your teeth like Comet.
Who are you?
Recognize that voice? He is kind of cute.
Be with you in a minute, dear. Whoever the husband is, there'll be no talk of blackmail. Not with the steel you got in the cellar. So, what do you say we call it standoff?
Still? Does anyone know what he's...
I wouldn't know nothing about no steel. All right, fine. So I run me off a batch of mash now and then. But I needed the money. You know what the taxes are on my place over there?
What taxes?
Well, if you're a church or a temple, you don't pay no taxes, don't you know? Only thing is, it's gotta be a real building. It can't be no trailer up on blocks with wheels.
So, you put your still in our house.
Well, I couldn't rightly run off no liquor in the temple now, could I? It might be sacrilegious. And besides, the still didn't fit in the crawl space. And Jolene, don't even bother mentioning that one.
He put the padlock on the door.
Heads up, keys.
The reflex is gone. Sad.
You sell your bootleg, whatever you call it, at that fish bait place. $8 a bottle.
I only get $4 a bottle. Old Henry, he gets 8.
100% markup?
It's American way. What are you, some kind of communist? Besides, I already know you're a tennis player in that outfit. You ought to be ashamed of yourself parading like that in front of women.
It's been wonderful. But I do believe I'll be toddling along. As soon as you people move your cars.
Well, my car's first in line. I could give you a lift.
Mary? Florence!
Why not? It's still shank of the evening. We'll find a quiet corner and I'll sing to you.
Well, that's the idea.
I'm just a bag of
We'll take your offer. And by Monday, I want that still out of the cellar. These kids can't live in a cottage that smells like paint.
Live in it. We're only trading for the weekend. Right?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just don't tell Jolene. There goes my new temper.
Enjoy the weekend.
We will.
I think.
Oh, we will.
Monday, we'll talk terms about a trade.
Terms. Wait!
I thought they'd never leave.
What? I'm sorry, honey. What?
We can pretend this is champagne.
This stuff?
Here you are.
Why not? But only for the weekend, understood?
Of course. Now, let's go discuss it up in the nursery.
It's not a nursery.
Yet.
And we don't need a nursery.
Yet.
Yet? What does that mean?
No more talking.